How's it going, everyone? Hope everybody is all good. So today I want to talk about nutritional mistakes that a lot of people make on a diet phase when we're trying to get lean. Now, if you're making some of these mistakes, if you fix them, it's only going to make your diet phase go a lot smoother, a lot more effective. You're going to retain as much muscle tissue and performance as you're dropping down. And that's the name of the game. That's what we're after. And your nutrition plays a big role in what goes on inside the gym and ultimately affects fat loss and muscle retention. So we want to make sure that we get it right. So number one, we want to talk about like our calorie intake and not neglecting micronutrients. So two people can have 2,000 calories. Someone could have 2,000 calories of just shit food, 2,000 calories of micronutrient dense calories coming in. Now, on the scale, they might drop the same amount of body fat, but then what's going on inside the gym and how they feel day to day, it's going to slightly vary depending on the micronutrient content. So don't just think, okay, I need 2,000 calories to drop body fat. Don't just distribute that with shit food, which is not micronutrient dense. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, don't avoid things like your fruits and veggies. Make sure they're still staying in your diet. Again, fruits, all sorts of fruits that are going to digest well for you. Things that really pack a punch in terms of micronutrient content. Berries, so blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, all those sorts of things. Your vegetables, what you need to pick with your vegetables is ones that digest well for you and don't cause a lot of bloating or gas. So whatever fits you, things like broccoli, carrots, peppers, zucchini, even fermented foods, things like sauerkraut, pickles, kimchi, anything like that, that's really going to help your gut health and your digestion as well. That has a massive impact on your whole general well-being. Your health is your gut health. So looking after that makes such a big difference on what goes on inside the gym as well, because you need to think about it. If you feel better, you're only going to perform better in the gym. If you feel better and perform better, you're only going to have a better time in a diet phase, dropping your body fat, but keeping your muscle mass and keeping your performance and your well-being high. Not just in the gym, but also outside the gym as well. So very, very important. Don't neglect your micronutrients, because it makes such a big difference across the board. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is going to be prioritizing foods that are high on the satiety index. Now that brings me back into your fruits and veggies. Per 100 gram of a lot of your fruits and veggies, if you pick the right ones, you're probably looking for around 30 calories or so per 100 gram of veggies or certain types of fruit. So you can bulk out your plate with 30 calories worth of veggies or fruit. The amount of volume that you can take up on a plate, it's massive. So you're killing two birds with one stone. You're getting your micronutrient content from your fruits and veggies, but you're also bulking out your plate, and you're having foods which are going to be high on the satiety index, which is going to keep you feeling fuller for longer. So again, don't neglect your fruits and veggies, especially things like frozen strawberries, frozen blueberries, just frozen berries in general. You've heard me talk about those plenty of times. They take longer to digest or eat because they're frozen. Again, it increases the satiety signaling. All these little hacks make a big difference. Such a simple tweak from changing your carb source from maybe something like white rice to boiled white potato. White rice is pretty low on the satiety index. You can eat tons of rice pretty easily. Boiled white potato is very, very high on the satiety index. If you take 300 gram of white rice versus 300 gram of boiled potato, they are different on a plate. The 300 gram of boiled white potato is going to take longer to eat, longer to digest, going to be higher on the satiety index. So these are all little hacks that you want when you are in a diet phase, right? So if you pack all your meals out with foods that are high on that satiety index, you're going to feel fuller for longer, and you're going to have an easier time just dieting down and feeling full. Makes such a big difference. Also, that will couple in with, again, good protein sources as well. More than likely, you're going to be better with lean sources of protein. So you're looking at your things like chicken breast, lean ground beef, no more than like 5% fat, lean cuts of steak, your lean dairy, lean Greek yogurt, lean skyr yogurts, lean fish like shrimps, prawns, white fish. All that sort of stuff is very high on the satiety index. So you want your diet to be, again, full of all that sort of stuff. It's going to keep you fuller for longer. Again, makes such a big difference, right? Final point, or number three, When you stall, or if you do stall in terms of body weight, now let's say you look over your average body weight over 7 to 14 days and you've been pretty static. Your calories have been the same, your expenditure outside the gym in terms of steps or your cardio, everything has been the same over the last 7 to 14 days, but you've stalled out on the scale. What do? What do a lot of people do? They panic. They start slashing calories by 300, 400. They slash calories massively. They drastically reduce carbs. Then they start adding in extra cardio and extra steps. So now you're burning the candle at both ends. If you do stall out on scale weight, don't panic. Make one tweak at a time, right? So you've got two options. If you've stalled out, you can pull your calories down maybe around 100, 150 daily. Now what that will do over the course of a week, if you take your calories down by, let's say, 100, 150 daily, over the course of a week, that's 1,000 calories that you dropped off. Does that make sense? So if you were eating 2,000 calories, you can go, okay, we're going to go 1,850 for the next week. That's the one tweak that you make, okay? If you make that tweak, you then don't add steps as well, because again, it's too much. It's going to create too big of a deficit, and you're going to change too much at once. So you've got two options. You can either pull food like that, or you keep calories exactly where they were. Let's say they were at 2,000. You keep them the same. If your expenditure outside the gym, you were hitting 10,000 steps, as an example. Okay, we'll bump your steps up to 12,000 daily. So then over the course of the week, your expenditure is going to go up. An extra 7 days of an extra 2,000 steps, that's an extra 14,000 steps over the course of the week. That's going to nudge you in the right direction of increasing that deficit more that we need. You've got two options: pull calories, or you can increase your steps. Don't do both at once, okay? What I would urge on the side of, and I would favour increasing expenditure to keep food as high as possible for as long as possible. The longer we can eat more food in a deficit, that's only going to be a win. It's going to be more anabolic, the more food that's coming in. Again, who doesn't want to eat more food? You're going to be fuller for longer, you don't have to be as hungry. But one of the big things is that you're going to be a little bit more anabolic with more food coming in. You just stand a better chance of retaining more muscle tissue the higher we can keep our food. So I'd rather you bump your expenditure up with some extra steps outside and then get that scale moving. Don't do everything all at once, because you leave yourself nowhere to go, right? There are a couple of tips and tricks. Hopefully they're useful for you. Again, if you are in a dieting phase right now, make sure you're not making some of the mistakes, and it's going to hold you in good stead for any future dieting phases that you do come across, and if you run into some of these issues. All right, so let me know what you think. Any questions you have, let me know, drop them down below. Speak to you all in the next one.